I am a voter in the United States and a tax-paying citizen of the United States at this point. I didn't start my journey this way, but as a business owner with a business of my own, Abraxas Industries, I am reading Torrent Freak and, all this. And before I founded this company, I did do quite a bit in the way of on internet piracy. But I wanted to say that my general impression of this whole thing has been, reading Torrent Freak and Operation 404. I can see how, the pirates will not run out of apps anytime soon, but over time, it's likely the market will become much, much messier. But the rights holders are aiming for that and more, and as history has shown, they are in it for the long haul and will do whatever it takes. Well, that's my whole thing there. And with I find some of the writing in Torrent Freak to be a little bit absurd because it what number one, there's an assumption here that there is, a will do whatever it takes. Like that there is that an ability to go far enough to actually stamp out piracy. There isn't. It doesn't matter how far you go to do it. You're not going to succeed. You're doomed. And as a person who has to and is expected to pay taxes so that, these people can, fund law enforcement efforts to actually track these things down, when I would prefer that law enforcement focus on violent crime rather than this kind of crime. And, all this bullshit that's going on here. Like I don't want to fucking have to, contribute to a system of laws that I don't believe in, and prohibition just across the board, from everything from opium, as far as I'm concerned. All prohibition resulted in an opium was to make it more dangerous because, and that is the opinion of the medical community. I mean, what happened with look what's happening with opium is the same thing that happened back in the 20s with, moonshine, where the moonshiners basically sometimes ended up getting their stuff mixed in with meths, and then what happened was that the people that drank it came blind. There is no substance on this fucking planet and earth that you can prohibit people from actually getting, or that becomes more safe when you hand its production and distribution over to the black market. And that's what happens. Every time the government decides to ban something, the black market will move into that space to soak that up and basically, sell it to those people. And it doesn't matter that we live in a fucking police state at this point with fully militarized police. It's still going. We're still fighting an unwinnable war on drugs under the rather absurd amount of thinking that you can escalate the drug war to the point. And I'm at the point where I'm like, if you think there's a solution to the drug war, you are the problem. If you think there's a solution to online piracy, you are the problem. So, to the politicians of both the Democratic and the Republican Party, I have an offer for you. I have voted pretty exclusively for the Democrats for years, but if there's a Republican or a Democrat who will run for office on a platform of legalizing this stuff under the premise that basically all patent infringement and all piracy, lawsuits and enforcement by the government is basically inherently frivolous, and that there's no piracy lawsuit that isn't frivolous. They're all just waste of the court's times that clog the courts up and waste the police time and, an effort to and a battle that's just going to keep going on in an endless, game of whack-a-mole. Because I know that, the rights holders think they're in it for the long haul and that they will do whatever it takes to win, but the people they're up against are equally in it for the long haul and will do whatever it takes to win. Not only that, those people are actually like exponentially smarter than the people they're up against by about a power of 1,000. You know, so this is a hopeless battle that they're fighting, and it's time, honestly, to face the sobering reality that there's no winning a war on online piracy. you know? And if you think there is a way, you're part of the problem. It's time to face it, and deal with a basic reality that there's no winning this. And if there's no winning this, why should we be expected to pay taxes to support it anymore? That's how I feel, and I mean, I if you're offended by that, go ahead, be offended, but, that's my 2 cents, take it or leave it, man. If there are any politicians that are willing to end this and make these people stop wasting LE, as in law enforcement's time, and, the time of the courts, I will vote for you in a fucking heartbeat. So just reach out to me